to Too Deep, Hokies Under the Influence. And it is Virginia Tech. This isn't some rinky-dink-ass program.
Come on, JC.
We're going to put this old guy in the grade. We'll go over some of the stats for the Bears. 2%, 11.
It's an 11 game.
Welcome to Too Deep, Hokies Under the Influence, a Sons of Saturday podcast brought to you by Jack and Coke. I'm your host, Pete B. I've got Sam Jesse here. And Sam, Virginia Tech beat Wofford 38-6. We got a win. We are 1-3 on the board. How you feeling?
I feel great. I mean, they did what they need to do. We'll get into the game. It feels good to win one, needed that.
Yeah, we really did need that for the vibes. Tonight, we're going to get into voicemail, some stat stuff, some takeaways from Wofford, a little bit of coaching candidate stuff. Sam and I might even give our favorite candidate that's out there, and then some thoughts on NC State. But to kick us off, Sam, why don't you give us a cheers?
My cheers tonight is for none other than my Cleveland Guardians, who are now sitting atop the AL Central after what could be the largest divisional comeback in Major League Baseball history. They were 15 and a half games back. They are now leading the AL Central, currently up 2-1 on the Detroit Tigers, who they have the tiebreaker with. Tanner Bybee just got out of a 1-out, 2-on situation. Valera, guy that they brought up from AAA, got the go-ahead home run. Cheers to the Gardos.
Cheers.
I'll tell you what,
It's almost time for October baseball.
I mean, your Phils are like, they have a bunch of superstars and they're rich and we know they're good or whatever. But like when your baseball team gets on a run, it is one of the cooler things in sports.
It's very fun. I agree with that. Cheers, man. And I created a bit of a problem with that pour. I have a significant amount of head on that thing. Yes, the Guards are looking good. The Phils just went back-to-back last inning, and they're clinched, but they're
just
chasing.
They're nuclear right now.
Yeah, they've been good lately. And the pitching staff has been awesome all season long. I love October baseball, but we're here to talk some football. We may next week do a little bit of basketball talk on here. We might have Ed Williams join us or do a Hokie Hoop show. We're not exactly sure, but Mike Young met with the media this week.
Mm-hmm.
And we lost an assistant and we're gaining an assistant. So things are happening on the basketball court, and we're going to have to start talking about it soon. I also wanted to note that Paul Patero, one of our writers, put an article about the NC State series in football on our website. And it was a really good read. Like, we've beaten them a lot. I know they've gotten us the last 2 times under Pry, but we've had some really fun games against them over the years. And some
9 of, like, I think there's been 13 times that they've played in like the modern-ish era. 9 of them 1-score games, a very, very close series.
I also, if you can tell, I'm a little bit darker. My ring light crapped on me right before this thing. So I'm doing dark Pete, even though we got a win. I guess I'm going
dark mode Pete.
I was born in the dark. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. We really appreciate that. And if you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please follow us there as well. Even if you don't listen on there, just give us a follow. That would be appreciated. News and notes, CFB Monday, already on your feed. BRM joined me and Sam to talk about a bunch of different storylines in college football, and that was fun. He had some good insight and some fun conversation regarding contenders and maybe some sleeper teams that need more attention. So check that out if you haven't already. Pick'em leaders, our very own Zach Osman, one of our reporters. He's been in the booth. He's been at press conferences. This guy's all alone in first place at 29-11. That is outrageous. That is a crazy number. I'm at 21-19 and I'm in 36th place. So 29-11's a lot better. So good job, Zach. And Sam, you must be shamed for missing the pick'em last week.
I know. I'm sorry, guys. I thought I did it. I'm sorry. Look, when I still win this, even without a week of wins, it will be a greater achievement.
That'll be a good comeback story. We talked a little bit on Monday about the ACC going to 9 games. And I just wanted to touch on it again because I was wondering, do you think it's going to lead to us going back to that 3, like groups of 3 model where we have 3 annual opponents?
There are a lot of caveats to this that are really, really difficult to see work out. One of them being the Notre Dame factor in all of this, especially since you have Clemson, who kind of went rogue and did their own little series with Notre Dame, which kind of threw off the scheduling for everybody else. You also SMU, Stanford, and Cal, they are not currently in the Notre Dame rotation for scheduling. So there is a lot of imbalance already in the conference. And now you want to add even more with a different number of games. This is going to get really, really tough. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't think they know how they're going to do it. So stay tuned for that. But early spring, that will be one of the talking points.
Of course, UVA, if they did do this, because they tried this a couple years ago before we expanded the conference again. And our 3 teams that we were paired with were UVA, Pitt, and Wake. Not
That make a lot of sense.
The best, in my opinion. UVA is going to be one of the teams, but like to me, Miami has to be one of the teams.
Well, see, what's interesting about Miami is I think Miami's a bigger rival to Virginia Tech than Virginia Tech is to Miami.
Sure.
Mostly because Miami also has Florida and Florida State that they play almost every year.
Yeah.
And Virginia Tech hasn't played West Virginia every year. So like that one's kind of fallen off. I think what you will see is one of the North Carolina, one of either UNC or NC State, Virginia, and then one of the Big East schools, Pitt, BC, Syracuse, one of them. I think that's what you'll see for Virginia Tech.
You're saying
I don't think so.
Because they made it an annual matchup now.
Their AD like doesn't love playing Virginia Tech every year. I don't get that vibe. I don't know if the ACC is like, oh, we need Miami, Virginia Tech on the schedule.
I was encouraged when they brought it back because they did when they redid this with Cal, Stanford, and SMU. They made sure that Miami and Virginia Tech was an annual rivalry. Like that is what it is right now. Hopefully, it stays that way. They don't have.
I would love it too.
They don't have to do the pods. Like I know the SEC just did that, and we tried it 2 years ago. But like we don't have to do the pods. Like,
the SEC basically having the same schedule back-to-back years, just flipping home and road, is terrible because you have programs like Oklahoma and Florida who, if you get the hardest schedule one year, you also get it the next year kind of, and it could be even worse in some cases. So I don't think they can do that. I think you do protected rivals and then you rotate everybody else. To be honest, like I don't need to play Cal, Stanford, and SMU. I don't really even need to play Louisville. I don't need to play like
I know.
Like there's like only 8-9 schools in the ACC that I'm like, yeah, I want to play those guys.
I mean, I think it would be cool to have a thing with Louisville. We weren't in the Big East with them. We've only played them a handful of times, and we've never played them at Lane still. We're going to
finally going to play them at Lane. Virginia Tech will. How many years do you think it'll be before Virginia Tech gets Florida State back in Lane Stadium? Because this is 3 consecutive games at Florida State.
I know. I don't know, man. I mean, it's they because of the way it all went down, like the additions of the schools, like it screwed things up. And we had other things like we've added these teams throughout over a decade, and it keeps screwing things up. But anyway, that's enough on ACC in the 9 games. We'll
that's
get
next
to that.
year's problem.
That's off-season problems. Depth chart injury update. There was a lot of we'll find out more about X player this week at the press conference because Monty met with the media. I believe that was yesterday, as well as Benji Gosnell, and there was one more.
Today as well, too, yeah.
Yeah. And so we're still trying to find out about Johnny Garrett. We're still trying to find out about some of these other guys. We did get Cunningham back in the game last week, so that was nice. But we were still without Garrett, and a lot of guys sat out versus Wofford. It includes Caleb Woodson, Reddish, Koval, Ellis, Caleb Brown. That's a lot of defensive guys. And then it's Takai Heath, Garrett, Keelan Adams, Chance Wiggins, Meadows, Stallard, and Sherrod Henderson. Those last 2 guys being true freshmen. But nevertheless, it was a lot of guys that were listed as out versus Wofford.
And this week on Thursday, so tomorrow night, Virginia Tech has to release a availability report, not an injury report, an availability report. So if the player is going to play in the game, they need to be in.
Like this is ACC. This is the new thing. Yeah.
It's not injury report. It's availability report. So we're going to find out a whole lot about 24 hours from right now, whether they want us to or not.
So that list I just went over. There was a bunch of safeties on there, some corners, some of the younger guys, whatever. there's some guys on there that I don't know if we're ever going to see suit up for Virginia Tech again.
I mean, there's some guys on there who are completely invisible in the first few games anyways. So like that's part of it. Injury, some of those guys are carrying injuries, real injuries that will probably last a few more weeks. Brody Adams. We knew he was going to be out probably the first month of the season. Meadows, we know, had an injury that was significant enough to miss a few weeks. Caleb Woodson, I think we know kind of why he was out of that game.
We think we know, yeah.
We think we know. So we'll see. We'll see what I don't think you're going to see a skeleton crew versus NC State. I think you'll see a healthier team versus NC State, but
we're going to be missing some guys for sure. And like maybe half of this list, but I think you won't like the thing about when you play an FCS team like Wofford, if you've got, a hangnail, you're not going to play.
Yeah. I thought too much was made about Terrion Stewart not playing.
Okay. Like
he's had a foot injury and feet are kind of important for running.
And he was dressed out.
Yeah. So I think we gotta pump the brakes on the Terrion Stewart fears right now. Yeah. And he has nowhere to go. Like he has zero eligibility left. So he's got nowhere else to go.
And if we want any chance of winning some games, like we want to have Terrion Stewart available. We really do. Yeah. I liked what I saw from the running backs, and we'll talk about Wofford, but I think he's probably the best back in that room right now. And I thought that before the season started, and I still think it now.
His ceiling is definitely the highest out of everybody.
For sure. There was the Gilliam quote as well with regard to the roster where he said, "You want to leave, leave." Like that was his quote about there's some guys with 1 foot in and 1 foot out the door. And he's been a leader since the summer, at least to us. He's probably been a leader in the locker room for longer than that. But like we heard him at ACC Media Days. We've heard him talk a few times, the players only meeting, all this stuff. And if there's anyone that wants to be here and is trying, it is him.
P, this is like the 3rd year in a row. It's been, some guys just had their foot out the door.
Yeah, I know. That's what they said that at ACC kickoff. Kyron and him both talked about it.
I think it is good to have leaders like that. I have to say, I thought we would have at least a dozen just straight up portal guys by now. I think the fact that you've only seen 1, maybe 2 or 3 that haven't been formally announced, and that's just a vibes thing. That's not inside information. I think that tells you a little something, but I also think it tells you that maybe this team has a little more senior leadership than we thought that they did.
I also think it's a really difficult situation. I think a lot of guys, and there was probably some of this that went on where like you kind of panic and you're like, all right, I'm out of here. Like this didn't work out. And then you talk to a coach, maybe you talk to another coach, you think about, okay, I'm going to be out of eligibility unless I can get something waiver to go down, or I can make myself some money if I play really well in ACC play on games on national television. Like, so there is, I would have expected a few more myself. I was expecting a few more. I wasn't expecting like a huge wave, but like when Lovett hit quickly, I was like, oh, we're going to get some more action here. And we really haven't yet.
Yeah. I think there's still time.
Oh, for
even
sure.
without the redshirt thing, like I think there's still time because I think you're going to have some guys who are freshmen or sophomores and try to put something out there on tape because they see their opportunity, especially with some of these injuries to the defensive backfield. But I also, we'll talk into it as we get into the Wofford recap. I thought some of those young guys played really well.
And the thing about some of those true freshmen that got in against Wofford, they didn't play against South Carolina. They didn't play against Vandy. So they still have games and 30 days to make a decision.
Oh yeah. I mean, we could see portal movement after the Cal game. It could go that far. Yeah.
Yeah. What day was? Well, Cal is after a month though. I mean, you could still see it. I'm saying they have 30 days from the day Pry was fired to enter.
Oh, I'm talking about for the redshirt rule.
Oh,
because they can still go in the offseason.
Yeah,
so
true. All right, game recap. This is going to be quick. After getting stopped on 4th down on the first drive, Virginia Tech scored twice in a row, fumbled, and then scored again. 21-0. We gave up 3 points thanks to a penalty on a drive. Then we missed a field goal right before the half, but we did get in position for that field goal, so that was good. added 10 points in the third, and then added another touchdown in the fourth. 38-6 was the final. It was a pretty solid drubbing of a lower tier school. Let's get to the voicemails before I get Sam's story of the game.
I give this game a thumbs up. Nothing more, nothing less. Death, taxes, Ben Bell, roughing the quarterback.
Hey, Pete. Hey, Sam. Finally, about time we got the dub. It's not all bad news coming out of Blacksburg these days.
Finally got the win. Took care of business. Beat Wofford. I'm not sure how much to read from this because it's, well, Wofford.
It's really tough to analyze how this team is when they crush another team like that. You hope that there is some kind of confidence that might have been built after a win like that.
Kyron was efficient. Running backs looked good. PJ was good in space with a bunch of checkdowns, and Hawkins was getting good yards.
Still a lot of drop passes, though. That didn't disappear. I don't know. I'm still not convinced on the turnaround yet.
I don't know. There's some guys that I think are going to transfer based off them not playing today. But a lot of young guys got in. They played decent. We'll see.
What do fired college coaches do immediately after getting fired? Like, is Brent Pry still in Blacksburg, hunkered down in his house like it's April 2020? Is he wearing a mask everywhere he goes? Does he rent a cabin somewhere 50 miles away and just hide out for a couple of weeks? What is he doing? What do you guys think?
Good win. Now let's work on NC State because that one's going to be an uphill climb. Go Hokies.
Thank you for the calls, everyone. Kevin, Nick, Mike, Pete McGee, got some good ones in there. What do you think Brent Pry is doing? Do you think he went on a vacation or something?
I kind of like the secluded cabin thing because if you were just fired from your job, but also knew that you had multiple millions of dollars coming your way in the next couple of years, I would not be in my house in Blacksburg.
Oh, no. Or like going to the grocery store for anything, or even the liquor store, because you know that there's probably been some drinking that's happened.
Oh, you open it. Like that's a situation where you're like, let me get the good bottles open.
Oh, yeah. You're buying some Blanton's, you're buying some Russell Reserve, maybe even going a little higher end than that. Some Weller, I don't know. But there's been some drinking somewhere on a beach or in a cabin or somewhere for Brent Pry, I'm sure. If you guys want to call the reaction line, call 540-251-2169 this Saturday night, because, Sam, we have another night game. Why? Can't we just be anonymous at noon?
Dude, it is. And honestly, so the game kicks off at 7. Between 7 and 7:30, this is like the only game on nationally.
Oh, come on.
Like only major game. So there's a 30-minute time span where Tech is going to be in the spotlight nationally.
Just no more embarrassment, please. Please don't get 2 bombs on you in the first 20 minutes.
Oh gosh.
But that's all beside the point, because we're going to talk some Wofford before we get to coaches in NC State. Sam, think of your story of the game, but I want to tell people that Two Deep Hokies Under the Influence is brought to you by Jack and Coke. You can see that can right on your screen. 2 legends, 1 can, Jack and Coke. The #1 cocktail in the world is now available in a can. You can get Coca-Cola Classic, Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. I always struggle with that for some reason. Vanilla Coke, Cherry Coke. They got Jack and Ginger. There's Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey and Lemonade that's available. There's Jack Daniel's Liquor with Blackberry flavoring, which is just out and new, Jack Daniel's Blackberry. So all kinds of versions of that. And I was just at the store, Sam, and my store was stocked up. No one's going to be able to see this, but that was like every variety. They had the Jack and Ginger. You can see them all. The mix pack that we talk about, because you can get all 3 of those, cherry, vanilla, and original, in a mix pack. So make sure you're hitting up your local grocery and convenience stores. They are in stock. 2 legends, 1 can, Jack and Coke, ready to drink. And as always, when you're drinking, please drink responsibly. What's your story of the game, Sam?
My story of the game is that was a Saturday where this Hokies team finally built some confidence. I felt like it had been a long time, like in terms of number of days, since these guys had really felt like they were in control of a game, because you didn't have the guys who were kind of your star players against UVA. So a lot of these guys got a lot of playing time against Minnesota, which was an uphill battle. They tried hard, but it was an uphill battle.
Right.
And then you had the first 3 games of this year. It's a long time to go without feeling like you're in control of a game. So I think it was just a really great opportunity for these guys to feel confident about what was going on a football field in live action. Look, but we're going to talk Wofford and just take this as an asterisk. We understand how bad Wofford
Yeah,
is.
we know that they're very
We
bad.
get it. We get it. Trust me, we get it. I'm not going to caveat every statement I say with, but it's Wofford. All right. I'm going to do one overarching caveat right here, and then we move on.
I like that. My story of the game was just us overpowering a much, much worse team. That was the story of the game. And I liked yours is a bit more on a positive spin. So I like that. On offense, we put up 461 yards, 6.5 yards per play. This was our padding the stats game a bit because our stats are bad. Offensively, defensively, like we really struggled in the first 3 games, and it's dragged us down because we didn't play, 3 cupcakes to start the year. Well, we don't have to talk about ODU right now. Anyway, it was Kyron Jones' best passing performance of his career. I feel comfortable saying that. His best completion percentage, 27 of 32. You've talked about the drops and the illegal touchings on the last episode. So really, he had like 2 bad throws in the game. It was for what you're going to do against this defense. Go out, have your best day. And he did. Now, what were your thoughts on like check down Charlie action?
Well, so Wofford was playing a really, really preventative defense all game long. I mean, you didn't see, I went back and watched the condensed game today. I never saw the safeties for Wofford on the TV.
No.
Like, they were 15 yards back at the snap. And like their corners were playing really far off. And their linebackers were like, they wanted to make Virginia Tech dink and dunk their way down the field, and Tech executed that. I would much rather him just dump the ball off to PJ Prelo and say, go to work. These guys can't tackle you. Clearly they couldn't, right? And so I think Kyron did exactly what the defense gave him. And that's when he's good as a quarterback, is when he is taking what the defense gives him and using his legs when needed to, and occasionally a designed run here or there that I think, keeps the defense honest. I thought he did everything that you would ask your starting quarterback to do in that game.
Okay. I agree. I mean, you can't argue with the accuracy. He was getting the balls where it needed to be. They were catchable balls, and guys were catching them. And even the one on the sideline that Alvis caught, maybe not the best decision to throw that ball, but it was called a completion.
That's also
we're gonna roll with it.
It's one of our critiques of Kyron coming into this season was he didn't give his wide receivers enough opportunities for those contested catches, and he did it against South Carolina. And we saw a couple of them in this game, but he was playing it very safe.
He was. And I was listening to Chris Coleman on TSL, and they were saying something about like, the checkdowns, that could be part of the offense or whatever. And maybe I don't want to read too much into that one, like kind of throwaway statement, but like it is not part of a Monty offense to check down to running backs. If you look historically, they have not done that. His running backs are never in the top 4 or even top 6 of the receivers on the team in terms of catches. It is unusual for any Monty game to have 13 receptions by running backs, which was like essentially a Virginia Tech record if you go by Hokies Sports. So they took what the defense was giving them, which was open checkdowns, and it worked. And it's a good way for Kyron to build a little confidence. And that's kind of how I took it.
And I certainly don't think NC State is going to play that style of defense, but it is one that Virginia Tech included. It's a style of defense that's becoming more and more popular in modern football.
And they just knew what they were in for all day.
Yeah.
And
if they would have pressed up, Tech would have scored 60 in that game. Virginia Tech didn't have a lot of big plays by design from Wofford. Yeah.
Wide receivers were open, and Kyron was hitting them. And I said on Monday, like, it wasn't just the wide receivers that caught it. Like, all the wide receivers and the running backs were pretty much open all day long. And we took advantage to a tune of 307 yards and 2 touchdowns for Kyron. He did have the fumble, which just continues to be a problem for him. Like, the ball since day one, I mean, it's got to be close to a fumble per game for him. Not all have been lost, but overall, he's lost a lot, and overall, he's probably had about a fumble a game since his first start. I mean, it's been a ton.
I would say a vast majority of them too are when he's being tackled from behind and the ball just kind of gets punched out from like underneath.
Yeah.
And that's kind of been almost every single one. The ODU one was like that. The one in this game was like that.
You got to wrap it up and go down, brother.
Yeah, and it's not even it's in situations where there should be two hands on the ball and he doesn't, and it's just a lack of fundamentals. It is an issue for him. It really is.
It is, but it didn't come back to bite us in this one, and he threw some strikes for those 2 touchdowns. They were really, really nice plays. How did you think, or why do you think they kept Kyron in so long? Do you think it was just to get reps?
I think it was to get reps and build confidence. You needed it because this is a guy, remember, not a lot of spring ball. And then this isn't a pass-happy offense. You just need some reps here. I agree with them keeping Kyron in as much as they did without running him because there really wasn't much of a pass rush either. He was limping a little bit there. It looks like he got it almost looked like he got a scrape on his knee.
It was like a cut. Yeah, because
like
he was wearing a bandage.
Like a turf burn almost right on his knee. I don't know exactly what it was, but he was definitely nursing something throughout the game.
He was, but it wasn't serious enough for them to take him out. And then he went back in and he really wasn't limping anymore. So it's fine. Through 4 games, he sits at 12th in the ACC in QBR, which is not where we want him or where we were hoping if we got the best version of Kyron, but it's where he's been the last 2 years now, is right around the middle to bottom of the ACC in QBR and QB stats. And hopefully that changes going forward if this can raise his confidence. And he's going to have opportunities against NC State to maybe not do this, but like have good game. Like it's not the toughest secondary that we're going to be playing.
3 of his next 4 games are games where I think Virginia Tech has an opportunity to throw the ball well.
Yeah. No, I think you're right on with that. So 6 different running backs. I said 5 on Monday. It was actually 6 different running backs that ran the ball, and none were Terrion Stewart. So pretty much every running back we have on the roster ran. PJ Prelude had 10 total touches, 82 yards. Hawkins looked good, 13 for 79 and over 6 yards a carry, especially early. I thought Hawkins really looked like decisive.
I think they gave him 5 straight carries to start the game, 4 or 5. They went for it.
Yeah. Got Bennett, we got Coney, Selden, Mason also got in there. Aiden Green from the wide receivers had 4 receptions for 52 and a touchdown. He now has 12 for 200 on the year. That is the most receptions on the team. The other Green, Donovan Green, 10 for 210 on the year. He's averaging 21 yards a catch. Alves was 2 for 32 in this game and a touchdown. Selden, 3 receptions to go with his 1 carry. So between PJ and Selden alone, you had 10 receptions from running backs in this one. And those 2 guys are second on the team, tied for second with 11 receptions each on the year.
It does feel like the most amount of manufactured receptions are to Cam Selden more than they are Green and the Greens. Feel like they are running plays directly for Cam Selden. I would expect to see a lot of that this weekend as well.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely seems like they want to get him involved. And Aiden Green and Donovan Green they've been solid outside of a couple drops. Like they've been solid.
A couple drops. I thought the Donovan Green illegal touching in the back of the end zone it just can't happen. All right. You got to know where you get 10 yards in the end zone. That should be plenty of room.
It's weird for a veteran wide receiver.
Yeah.
To do something like that.
Because it was a good throw by Kyron too.
Yeah, it was. It really was. Let's move to defense. And again, the caveat here, like Wofford is terrible on offense, like really, really bad. They were like under 3 yards of play before this game. And in this game, they were at 2.8. And some of that was against, third and fourth stringers. So we did what we needed to do. Didn't give up a touchdown, just a couple of field goals, only 141 yards in the game, and we held them to negative yards rushing. So
it's gotta feel good.
Yeah, the line play in this, the offensive line could have been better, of course. But the defensive line, I felt like this is what they should have done. Negative rushing. You can't do better than negative.
Yeah, and a 20% havoc rate for the defense in that game. So that is a pass defended, a turnover, or a tackle for loss. And 20% of Wofford's plays ended in one of those things.
Yeah, that's wild.
4 passes defended, 2 of them by defensive linemen. That's pretty cool.
Was James Jeanette one of those?
James Jeanette had a bat down, and Cody Heisman had a bat down. Yep. So that's a fun little quirk. Wofford only had a 22% success rate in that game. That's stupid low.
Yeah.
So they just didn't move the ball at all. Credit to their field goal kicker who made 2 40-plus yarders, who for some reason wasn't kicking at the start. Maybe he was injured. I don't know, but definitely not the field goal kicking we expected to see from Wofford.
Kelvin Gilliam, a leader on and off the field. He had 4 tackles, 2 TFL, and 1.5 sacks in this one. Copeland had the diving interception. Just
crazy play.
Awesome athleticism to watch.
That's going to be on his draft highlights.
A 300-pounder, dude.
That's going to be
laying out and catching that thing. He also had 5 tackles and a tackle for loss in the game. Caleb Spencer got the start at linebacker and had 5 tackles and 1.5 TFL. I liked what I saw from him.
Can we talk about Caleb Spencer real quick?
Sure.
So Caleb Spencer was a pretty highly rated recruit. I don't have it in front of me, but he was pretty highly rated. Went to Miami. He started out as a safety for Miami, but that was a loaded roster his freshman year. So he played special teams, a special team star. Enters the portal. Virginia Tech wins a recruiting battle to get a coveted player out of the portal. Comes to Virginia Tech. He plays a few games, and what do they do almost immediately? Switch his position. He gets in a little bit. He has a really nice game for Stanford. You see the pop, you see the athleticism, you see the speed. And then what do? They change his position again this spring, putting him to middle linebacker. So all of a sudden we have a big safety who is now an undersized middle linebacker. Okay. And we don't play him. So this guy that we paid money for in the NIL space, the guy who we won a recruiting battle for, a guy who was highly touted out of high school, enough to Miami to want him, and we know he's got some pop because we have it on film, is all of a sudden riding the bench.
It's frustrating, man.
It's stupid. And that's a microcosm of what was wrong with this staff for so long. They changed his positions 3 times.
And
when
they
he gets
done
on
that
the field
with 5 different players. Like they've done that
see,
with like every linebacker we've had. Like Keller switched position like 5 times.
And he was the best defender in the second half against Old Dominion. That got him the start today. Against Wofford this weekend. And he's probably, like, in my mind, he should start against NC State.
I mean, and Bass was in there starting too, I think. One of your preseason favorites. And those are, again, another talented guy from Virginia that when he's been on the field, like he's made a couple things happen. And the staff and their evaluation of some of these players in practice or camp or whatever it is, it's because we didn't hear a thing about Spencer,
and we
all
mentioned
summer
it.
long.
We mentioned it in spring, and we mentioned it after summer. We never heard his name ever.
And maybe he was a doghouse guy, Like
I don't know.
I don't
Could
know.
be.
Michael Short had 4 tackles, 1.5 TFL in this game. He's probably going to end up playing a lot too. And he has the most tackles for loss on the team right now.
He has good plays and then he has bad plays.
He
and
does.
it's like, okay, let's try to minimize the bad plays because we know your ceiling's not super high. Just be steady Eddie for us a little bit.
Isaiah Cash led us in total tackles with 6. Keller had 5. Tyson Flowers had 3 and 2 hurries. A bunch of true freshmen played, including Brett Clatterbaugh, one of our higher recruits. And did you see the play where he shed the block and grabbed that guy?
Looked good.
Yeah. I mean, that was pretty nice. He had 1.5 TFL on the day. And last but not least, I'm going to talk about a couple freshmen too, but Gabe Williams got out there.
Awesome.
Got a solo
Awesome
tackle.
stuff.
Yeah. That's after his devastating injury and then the night and the family tragedy that followed. Like, it's really nice to see him back.
Yeah, it is.
Out playing and making a play. On the key play, French was complimentary of safety Sheldon Robinson and JoJo Krim, our corner, as well as Jamari Deloach. And I'm not going to give away French's whole article, but he actually said some of that on Twitter today. So it is public.
Yeah.
If you remember that ball that got knocked down out of the guy's hands in the end zone, that was Jamari Deloach.
Yep.
That, like, he kind of got beat and then he came back he smacked it out of the guy's hands. But we've heard stuff about Harrell. We've heard stuff about JoJo Krim. And now Shelton Robinson, too. There's some young talent in that secondary.
Yeah, they better be ready to play Saturday. Let's just say that.
I mean, honestly, man, they might be better than what we had.
We don't know.
We don't know.
Wouldn't be too hard.
Final takeaways from the game. Good solid day, I'd say. I said I projected 40-7 on last week's Under the Influence show. It was 38-6. We dominated them in every facet. And like Sam said earlier, it felt good to win. I don't care that it was against Bishop Sycamore. I really don't care. We needed that. We needed the confidence for Kyron and the rest of the team, for these guys, just like you said, they haven't felt anything good since August. And so it's nice.
I thought, PJ Prelo, his ability after the catch is really, really good. And he showed that today. And that's Virginia Tech has to use that, because Virginia Tech doesn't have a lot of explosiveness in the offense. They're actually one of the least explosive offenses in the country right now. Now, that is a bit because of the style of offense Virginia Tech has played so far, and also how Old Dominion and Wofford both defended and kind of sat back a little bit, made Virginia Tech try to drive down the field without making mistakes. They got to find a way to be more explosive. They got to find a way to just distribute the ball, get the ball out of Kyron's hands quickly. I think that's going to be really key for Virginia Tech moving forward, because I don't think this offensive line is good enough to keep a clean pocket for him. Some bad things, 8 penalties for 74 yards. I know you got a lot of new guys in there, but
there was a lot of youth out
tough
there.
Tough to win like that. But yeah, overall, Virginia Tech got 56% of their available yards in this game, almost 40 yards per drive. Offense was humming in this game.
What did you think about, not only during the game, but before the game and after the game, from Phil Montgomery? Do you feel like, it's hard to tell from one Wofford game, but
if you were to cast a football coach for a Disney movie, I feel like I would come up with Phil Montgomery.
Yeah, I think you're right. I listened to Tech Talk Live last week. I've listened to every press conference. He definitely plays the part, as you just indicated. He is a head coach. He seemed to operate the team very well against an FCS team, and we went out and we didn't cover, but we beat them down and we played well on both sides of the ball. It's going to be really interesting to see what the offense looks like, because now he's got double duty, right? He's the head coach and he's a play caller, but that's what he did at Tulsa for a long time. This is not new for him. And so I don't know. I'm not going to say I'm encouraged, because I need to see it versus some decent team, but
you're not discouraged.
I'm not discouraged. That could have been, it could have been a little bit more ugly. It could have been 24-10 out there,
there was a world where this game was a Fuente FCS game and it was 27-10. Yeah.
Right. And so for the people that are mad we didn't score 60, sure, you can be mad, but Kyron had nearly a perfect day for him, and the defense gave up 6 points. So I'm pleased. And Copeland made one of the coolest plays of the season.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah.
Beggars cannot be choosers.
No, and we're certainly beggars.
Oh, yes, we are.
The 2 Deep Hokies Under the Influence podcast is brought to you by Rhoback. You guys know Rhoback, the performance activewear designed for those who crave activity. They put out the Sandman right before the season. They've got 2 fresh new sweatshirts. One is a black TV logo with white strings that comes down, looks very fresh. They also have a crew neck now, Sam. And it's kind of like a heathered cream colored with the script Hokies right in the middle. Because Rhoback does those tinier logos. They don't do the big logo. Just this little low-key Hokies. And it looks super comfortable. I don't have my hands on one yet, but I know Billy does. And he says it's amazing. And I think we saw Storm Murphy on Pat's story rocking the black one. They really 2 really good looking stuff. So make sure you're using code 2DEEPVT to get 20% off your first order. Use a different email. Get that 20% off a couple different times. They have the hoodies, the tees, the quarter zip, shorts, joggers, tennis skirts, ladies stuff, dresses, anything you could imagine sportswear wise, and any team college wise you could imagine. You can pretty much find on there. 2 Deep VT, all one word, all caps, for 20% off that order. Rowback Crave Activity. Sam, what are you drinking tonight?
I got a really good one tonight, Pete. This is the actual name of it. Our most popular pumpkin ale from Evil Twin Brewing. I had another Evil Twin on here a couple weeks ago. Really, really good brewery out of New England. This one is 6.5% alcohol by volume. It is a pumpkin ale with spices. It's a really dark pumpkin ale color. You can see it in the ring light here. It does have a little orange tint to it. Delicious. Pete, this is maybe my favorite pumpkin ale I've
Is it called Perfect Pumpkin Ale?
It says our most popular pumpkin ale.
Popular. Okay. I'm just trying to get the name right. I feel like I might have had that one before. I've had so many pumpkins over the years. Like and I don't always, I'm trying to get better about logging them out. Robbie used to do the logging of these things. The other Evil Twin you had, which one was that?
That was the What Even Is Pumpkin Spice.
Right. What did you rate that one?
That one was like a 3.5, 3.75. Something like that. This for me is like, this is probably my number one pumpkin I've ever had. It tastes like, it smells like pumpkin pie. It gives you that really sweet, but then when you drink it, it's not sugary sweet.
Is it like is it a brown, kind of like the Dogfish pumpkin?
Yeah, I would say so, but it doesn't have any real bite to it. It's really, really smooth for a pumpkin ale. You get a little bit of the cinnamon brown sugar, but not a ton.
What do you
really,
give?
really good
2.5,
stuff.
4.5?
4.25. Let's put it at the top of the pumpkin list.
Okay, that's great.
I think this is about as high as a pumpkin ale could go.
Oh, you have a cap.
Yeah, I'm not going to give a 4.5 to a pumpkin.
Understood.
Flavor.
Understood.
Yep.
I bought the pumpkin tonight. I got a 6-pack of the Dogfish. And then I bought a bunch of individuals that I'm going to go through. So Rosemary's Baby, or I think it's Rosemary's Baby, is 2 Roads. That's a pumpkin they've had for a while. There's now something called Rosemary's Baby Spawn, which is like a maple version. And the Warlock also has a maple version of their pumpkin ale now. So I grabbed those in addition to some others. I'll drink them. Our pumpkin beer episode is coming up. Sam's diving in a little early, which we encourage. I'm going to have an Oktoberfest and tell you about it here in 1 second, but I did happen to dive in on some. And that bingo beer you had last week, Sam, what was the rating on that one?
Give it like a 3.25.
That was bingo beer.
Oktoberfest.
October. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. I'm drinking the all right, let me start again. I'm drinking the Von Trapp Oktoberfest. You can see that Bavarian flag in the background of that thing. Von Trapp is from, I want to say, Vermont. Yes, Stowe, Vermont. Had a bunch of their different things over the years. They've been around for a long time. And they recently did a rebrand, I want to say a year or two ago. And their cans and stuff look a lot better. Look at this beautiful color on this thing.
Ooh.
I got it in the Burris Hall glass with Torgerson Bridge on there and everything. But it's very solid, man. I mean, I would recommend this one. Not every Oktoberfest do I love. The ones that are a little too heavy, I just really don't like more than one, or sometimes I just won't buy them again if they're a little too heavy. This is 5.6. You can see how light it looks. It reminds me a lot of the Yinling Oktoberfest, which I really enjoyed. Von Trapp Oktoberfest. I'm not going to give it a 4, but I do really like it a lot. So, oh man, I feel like 3.5. Like it's probably what it is, but I like it better than that, if that makes any sense.
I do wish they let you do a custom scaling on Untapped
for each different kind of beer,
because so many, maybe, but so many beers, I'm like, this is a 3.6.
Yeah. You want to go like 3.62.
Yeah.
You want to slide that thing in between. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you ready for some coaching candidate talk? 'Cause we're going to do this before we do NC State. Because as much as I love the games, and we were talking about the NC State game earlier, Sam, I feel like our listeners are a little bit more into the future of Virginia Tech. Because let's be honest, a little bit of the season is lost. I mean, you don't know how much buy-in there is. We fired our coach, and I'm gonna don't you worry. I'm gonna get into the nitty-gritty on NC State. We're gonna do that. But this stuff, who we like, I think our listeners really find this interesting.
Yeah, it is. And I probably won't get too into, I won't start rattling off coaching stats tonight, but I do think it's important vibe check this maybe every week as we get more information. We hear more names coming out. I tweeted this earlier today, and I stand by it. And I think a lot of people agree, or at least like somewhat understand my thought process. I think your first call in the top of your list has to be Matt Campbell.
So
It has to be.
when we were talking about unrealistic calls and realistic calls, you feel Matt Campbell would be a realistic call from Virginia Tech, and you offer him a boatload and say, turn us down.
Yeah. I think if you're going to give somebody a boatload, he's one of the guys.
Okay.
And I also think he's one of the guys that won't be as targeted by SEC as some of the other
right.
higher end coaching candidates will be.
So say it's me and you, and we're having a conversation over some beers, kind of like right now. And I say,
we
Sam,
literally are doing that.
and I say, Sam,
it's the entire part of our podcast. Yeah.
That's a bad idea. Why do you want Matt Campbell? He's small time. He's only had success at one place. Like, why do you think that that's a good idea? And I want you to sell me on this.
Because that's exactly the coach Virginia Tech needs. A guy who can win at a place where you're not really supposed to win. Iowa State is a very similar university to Virginia Tech. It is a large state institution that's kind of tucked away. Ames might even be a little more populated than the Blacksburg Roanoke area. You don't have a lot of recruits right out your back door. You got to get creative. You got to build with culture. You got to build with strength and conditioning. He has done that. Has Iowa State won 10 games every year? No, but this is Iowa State. This used to be one of, if not the worst major college football programs in the country. And he has done nothing but go over 500 and in some seasons exceed expectations. He has been in 2 of the last 4 Big 12 title games. He has won 10 games at Iowa State last year. At Iowa State. Right? Yes. And they're 4-0 to start this year. 3-0, actually. They had a bye week. Never mind. They're 3-0.
Undefeated.
I think this is a guy that you really, really need to have at the top of your list because he develops talent.
You think he can be put somewhere else and arguably succeed even better?
I think Virginia Tech, from what we know today, can give him more resources, can give him a more, maybe an assistant coaching staff with a little more flair and recruiting ability. Because I know people are a little worried Iowa State doesn't recruit at a high level. Obviously, they're in Iowa.
The surrounding footprint is much more rich with talent than where they're at.
Yeah. I think you're getting a guy who is a proven winner. And also, Toledo was terrible before he got there. And he brought Toledo to one of the better teams in the MAC as well. So this is a guy who knows how to win without resources. You give him resources, I think you're going to see something pretty special.
Yeah, and me countering you is it's a fake me because I love Matt Campbell. I think he could be tremendous at Virginia Tech, but I wanted you to have to sell me the pencil, so to speak, and you did.
Yeah.
My top coaching candidate is someone you mentioned last week when I said, Sam, like, who's your first call? And we were joking about it being unrealistic, and you're like, I think it's Dan Mullen. And as we clarified, it's like, yeah, that's probably the first call that you should make. And to me, I don't know if I take him over Matt Campbell. That's not something I'm deciding because Matt Campbell has a job. And I think it's going to be exceedingly difficult to get him out of Iowa State. And he has turned down a lot of jobs seemingly over the years, or at least big time interviews and things like that he's had. So if he's not available or he decides he's a lifer for the Cyclones, Dan Mullen needs to be our first call, I think. I mean, if you're not getting Saban and you're not getting Urban and you're not going after one of these giant names, Kalen DeBoer gets fired and we bring him over from Alabama, a realistic, G5 candidate, Dan Mullen is 53. He had a winning record all but 2 years of his 9 at Mississippi State, 69-46 at that time, and 33-39 at Mississippi State. I know that's 6 games under 500. This is at the height of the SEC West. LSU, Alabama, Ole Miss, Auburn, Arkansas had good years in there.
Yep.
Like that record at Mississippi State in the toughest division in football is outrageous. He won 10 games in 2014. That is only the third time in Mississippi State history that ever happened. He won 9 games 2 more times and 8 games another 2 more times. So 5 of his 9 years at Mississippi State. Keep in mind, he had to inherit a program. He has been 8 wins or more in 5 of those 9 years at Mississippi State. Then he goes to Florida where he failed. Let me tell you about the 4 years he was at Florida. 3 of those years he finished in the top 15. So I would give my left nut to finish 3 times in the top 15 in 4 years. I mean, give me a break. Like, or maybe pinky. I'll save my nut for something better. But you know what I'm saying here, man. Like, people think he failed at Florida because he pissed people off and he didn't recruit the way they wanted to. But he did really well for 3 years there.
His worst recruiting season at Virginia Tech would be a bombshell national storyline at Virginia Tech if that was their recruiting class. So let's put it in perspective. I really liked if Dan Mullen's the coach of Virginia Tech, I'm stoked. I'm pumped up. My one thing with Dan Mullen right now, I worry about the defensive side of the ball. For me, he's one of these coaches that you're going to get an offensive guy. You're going to get somebody who can, develop quarterbacks. I mean, he was I might be wrong. He was the Florida coach when Kyle Trask took them to an SEC title game, correct?
I think so.
Yeah, they had like Kyle Trask and Kyle Pitts were on that team, and they played Bama. Yeah, this guy knows how to coach quarterbacks. Dak Prescott, ever heard of him?
Yeah, I have.
I really love that about Dan Mullen.
And think about
I worry about the defensive side of the ball.
I didn't want to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Since Urban, there's been 4 coaches at Florida. Like, how many of them have done well? I mean, Dan Mullen did better than just about anybody else. I think he has the best record of any of those guys. And
I think if you're getting my fear with Dan Mullen is you're going to have to outbid everybody else for him, I think, or really sell him on Virginia Tech. Now, the flip of that is Florida's out of the picture.
They're out of the picture. You can't even use
not going back to
Florida as leverage to get more money because he's not going there.
Yeah.
That's one of the good things. And in terms of just who he is as a coach, like he's been out of the game for 3 years. He goes to UNLV. They're 4-0. They could easily be 2-2. I will say that. But he's 4-0. He's a bit of an asshole, which I think we need. Yeah. And in terms of name recognition and instantly giving some credibility, he brings that. Not every candidate brings that. Dan Mullen would, and he develops his players. Like we've seen it. He makes the most out of his roster year after year.
Are you worried at all? And this is, again, devil's advocate. I would love to have Dan Mullen as a coach. Are you a little bit worried at all about, is he someone who needs SEC level talent in order to win at an SEC level?
No, I'm not worried about it because he did it at probably the hardest place to win in the SEC.
Okay.
And who's to say he wouldn't bring in a high level of talent that's better than most of his peers in the ACC?
Mm-hmm. What would you say? Hey, this is a guy who hasn't really been a coach in the NIL era. He was out of the game with the NIL era.
No, that is a concern.
At a school that clearly had NIL issues paying players last year. I mean, their quarterback quit the team because he wasn't getting his check. So is this a guy who knows how to manage the
He wasn't
NIL
at UNLV last year, though.
He wasn't, but I think the school isn't a NIL heavy.
Sure. I understand what you're getting at. I think that's why you have a GM, which Bruce Arians was on Pat McAfee talking about this, which was so freaking cool, by the way, because McAfee is a giant media presence. Bruce Arians sitting there in a hat, just saying, like, first thing we got to do is hire a GM. And this guy knows everybody. Like, Bruce Arians knows everybody in the coaches industry. He has been coaching in D1 football for like 40 years.
I had multiple people message me that clip who are not Hokies fans and tell me, this is huge for you guys. Mm-hmm. Like, I could not. That one friend who actually said, who's actually an Oklahoma fan, he said, I couldn't imagine a better football person to head that than Bruce Arians.
In the last 2 weeks, we have gotten the news about our budget on College Game Day
Mhm.
and the guy who's helping search for our coach and our GM on Pat McAfee. So I don't know what happened in the athletic department over like 2 weeks of us getting our asses kicked. But let me tell you something. They switched it into high gear, man, because that's some big media play right there.
And we can go into this further as the season goes along, but this is not a coaching search that can take 3-4 months. Just with the way that the college football calendar is set up, you are going to run out of time pretty quickly before, not only before the transfer portal opens up, but before National Signing Day in December.
Are you hoping that our prospective coach doesn't make his conference championship game?
So we talked about this a little bit in the chat. Like, let's say Ryan Silverfield is the coach at Memphis. Let's say that Memphis goes to the playoff and wins the American. He's not leaving Memphis early if they're at that level, right? And you wouldn't want a guy who does that anyways.
And Memphis is in a unique circumstance that they have money. Like they have FedEx money.
Yeah, they do.
And so if anyone would stay through a playoff and potentially take a bigger contract at his current place, it's Silverfield.
Yep.
And so that it may rule him out. It may, despite him like being one of the hottest candidates, just taking down Arkansas and everything else.
Yeah. And I think that is something you have to think about here is, okay, this is our coach. How do we announce it now? Do we not? How do we play this? Because you got to sign a recruiting class. Virginia Tech's going to have a boatload of roster turnover, and there isn't the spring transfer portal window this year. It is only going to be in the winter.
Supposedly. I want to see that because there's still people are pushing back on that already.
We'll see, but yeah. I think it is risky.
It is a risk
to get a guy who's going to be potentially in the playoff. Is there if you want one of those G5 guys and you know you need to make a hire sometime before the second week in December, do you feel like that might mean that Virginia Tech ends up with whoever finishes third in the American?
No.
And who doesn't play in the championship game?
I think like this, whatever we're doing at Virginia Tech, it's not about 2026. Like it's just not. Like that would be nice, but like you're making a decision that you have to get right. And it doesn't matter if it takes until 2027 for you to have a full portal or whatever. Like you need to get the guy. You need to get the right guy because this is it. You want this to impact for a decade, you know? And so don't let whatever happens in this college football season screw up your search, like, and who you think is right. But the other thing that could throw a monkey wrench is the other schools that come open because Arkansas seems like it's going to come open. OK State just opened up with Bundy. I'm not so sure that us in Oklahoma State will be looking for the same type of coach, but like they're similar jobs, you know?
Yeah. And geographically, I think Oklahoma State will go for the Texas candidates a little bit harder. Just that's where they recruit from. So that makes a little more sense to me.
Bud was talking about that with Golish having a history at Oklahoma State, Colin Klein, and
Trailer.
And Trailer.
GJ Kenny.
Yes.
Boy, that's a tough
former
one to say, but
Philadelphia
he's a good
Eagle.
coach. Good coach, though. So those are all possibilities. Who's at North Texas?
Oh, you just said his name. Is it Davis?
Yeah.
What's his last
Yeah, I
name?
think so. He's a good coach as well. And then you have the West Coast stuff, I think is its own animal as well. UCLA is kind of a special job. You have to juggle a lot of things at UCLA that you don't at most state schools.
If anyone's giving us trouble, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin's giving us trouble.
That could give us, if they fire Fickle, the price could go up for
Kentucky.
A Dan Mullen. Kentucky's not opening, I don't think.
That sucks for Kentucky fans.
The other
sucks.
The other thing about Arkansas too, we talked a little bit about this with Irby, but like they've got Calipari, they've got baseball, you know, and Bud Elliott talked about this on Cover 3. Like, how much are they investing in football? Now they love their football, but their AD's out there complaining about not having money. They're not competitive on a national level for football. And they do have financial obligations to these other sports. Would that take them out of the running for someone they really want? Probably not, but it's
probably if they want. I mean, they have They have 3. They actually might have the most billionaire alums of any of the major football schools.
There you go.
Like
So
they
it's probably
I
not
think
an
they might
issue.
have like 6 or 7 billion.
Just tap Jerry for a couple
I
extra
mean, just
dollars.
knock on the door at Tyson's Chicken and be like, "Hey, you got some nuggies you can spare?"
Yeah, I mean, you just don't want them all to open up, but Florida and Arkansas are probably opening up.
Yeah. Florida and Arkansas are. And then you don't know the other movement that'll happen. Like somebody will get tabbed for an NFL job. Somebody will move. I mean, this happens all the time. Look at Chip Kelly just got up and left UCLA to go to Ohio State.
The interesting thing with
like,
Mullen too, with the SEC, and Mike Holmes said this, like, does the SEC want to go a third time at Mullen? Like, does that matter?
Do you want somebody's like sloppy seconds kind of thing
in your own conference?
Yeah.
Whereas for us, it's like it's a new flavor of the month.
He's a well-respected enough coach, and I think most people agree that Florida did him dirty. So I think that'll help you out a little bit.
They didn't agree to it enough to put him in a job these last 2 seasons.
As we wrap up this conversation, I think it's fair. We're not entertaining. I'm going to list you some names that I don't think Virginia Tech is going to entertain, and you tell me if we need to pause.
Okay.
Jimbo Fisher.
We're not entertaining that.
John Gruden.
No.
Michael Vick.
I really don't think so.
Shane Beamer.
What I fear with Beamer, because I really don't think it's the right time to hire Shane Beamer. One, because you'd have to buy him out of South Carolina, which is a whole different problem. And I don't think he's going to get fired, despite even if they go 5-7. I don't think he's getting fired in South Carolina.
Agreed.
So you have to buy him out. So that's a hiccup. So it's really nonsensical. But I want, like, if Beamer came to Tech in 10 years, that would like make more sense to me in my head. Like right now, Tech is too volatile. His situation's too volatile.
He's too volatile. Yeah.
Like it's just like, it's not right. But what I also think is that you get some old school Virginia Tech people on that committee who are like, we can get Shane. We can bring Frank's son home.
We can get my buddy old Shane.
They start to romanticize it. And I personally don't want that. Shane's teams are undisciplined. Shane has won like essentially one good season and maybe 1.5. And yes, he recruits, but like that's not really what we need. We need a freaking ball coach. And I don't know if Shane is that. He's still proving that.
Mike Gundy.
No, what do we?
Somebody tweeted me Mike Gundy, and I literally turned my phone off because I was like, I cannot deal with this right now.
Bobby Petrino.
Bobby Petrino's not happening. I mean, so here, we need to wrap this up. We can list names all day. Luke Fickell's a good football coach.
I think so.
Like we all kind of, college football fans all agree he's a good football coach, and it's just something's not working at Wisconsin. If Luke Fickell is on the market, like, do you maybe say like, oh, could we get a big time coordinator right here?
Yeah, I mean, look who Fickell had on his staff at Cincinnati. Marcus Freeman. I mean, he knows coordinators. He knows people in the industry.
Can we get Luke Fickell as a coordinator?
Oh, you're saying
he's just fired. If he's fired because he's lost 2 years in a row at a big time school, do you go coach?
I was misjudging how you were presenting.
Yeah. Do we go coach? Hey, instead of paying $8 million for a coach, let's pay $6 million for a coach and let's go out and ball out on a coordinator.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you play that game. You need the leadership from the top. You don't, you got to get the coach.
Too many, one head chef and then sous chefs. Got it.
Yes. That's pretty much where I'm at, but don't hire 2 first-time coordinators like Pry did. Don't do that.
Anything less than like 6 years of experience, I am going to get on this podcast and set my microphone on fire.
Yeah. Mullen is, I was actually thinking he was older. Like because
he was a young guy at Mississippi.
He was very young when
he
got hired. Yeah. And even at Florida, like you look at some of those pictures, like, dude, that guy was young. But yeah, he's 53, like plenty of good years left. All right, let's move to NC State, 9/27, 7 p.m. on the CW, the ACC's home for quality football. FPI They are 57th. That is exactly where they were preseason. They are still 57. SP Plus, they are 64th, down from 42 preseason. So pretty sizable drop in SP Plus. And Virginia Tech's at 82. So NC State 64, us at 82 in SP Plus. In Athlon, they had them 54. Lindy's had them 49. And Sam, what did you say about this team all summer long?
They were literally ranked directly next to Virginia Tech in everything.
Damn, they just like us for real.
They are like us. They are like us.
The only difference is they didn't fire their coach 3 weeks into the season.
They didn't fail miserably to start the season. I think they've had an interesting start to the season because you opened it up with one of your rivals on a Thursday night, and you won a close game that you almost blew the game. And you played UVA, and that was a really close game that you managed to just win in a shootout. And then who else did they play?
They played
Wake Forest. So another in-state rival
that they got down 14 points to.
You were down 14-0. You didn't look great. You just kind of outlasted them in the second half. And then you played Duke, another kind of rival conference game, and
they did
turned the ball over 3 times. You let out a big lead. Duke had a ton of offense on you. Like, this team is really close to being 0-4. They're not that far away.
38-13 over the final 33 minutes of the Duke game. Like Duke adjusted, did something different, and NC State did not. And that's their only loss because they did beat ECU. They did beat UVA, and they should have lost the UVA game. I mean, they got an interception at the end that saved the game.
They could easily be 4-0, and they could easily be 0-4.
They could. You're right. Like they've been skating by.
They had to get 2 red zone stops on defense to beat ECU and UVA.
They haven't played a joke of a schedule, but like ECU, UVA, Wake, and Duke, there's no world beaters on there, and
especially on the defensive side of the ball.
And they're 3-1. So like, we laid it out pretty much the best we can there. Like they're a hair away from being bad or winning the Duke game as well. So they're fine. They've got Dave Doran at the helm. He's under a lot of pressure. The fans. I sent you guys that clip from Ovies today talking about NC State and how it's getting a little toxic in Raleigh. Like even despite being 3-1, which sounds like a dream right now, they're a little bit frustrated with always being the pussy pack.
Yeah.
If they never put anybody away, they're kind of soft. And the promotions that happened, the new DC, not sure that's working that great.
No.
And then the new OC was Roper, who was the quarterback coach. And all he's done is fail the last 2 years at getting the quarterbacks developed.
I don't think that they've gone all in on the NIL space either. And they did blow some checks last year to get some guys. A lot of those guys left. So they're talent-wise, I don't know if this team is at where we maybe think of NC State. However, CJ Bailey has improved maybe more than any other ACC quarterback.
Offensively,
he looks infinitely better.
You are dead on. Offensively, they have talent. Defensively, not so much. So let's talk about CJ Bailey. 6'6", 210. He is a string bean, but he's been dealing the football. He's up to a 155 quarterback passer rating from 144 last year. 144 is not even bad. 150, 155, that's pretty good. 10 total touchdowns and 80 QBR, which is number 21 in the country. He's playing at a very high level, and he can run a bit too. He isn't just this one-dimensional passer. He's got 3 rushing TDs. He's got 3.3 yards per carry, and that takes into account the sacks. So 72% completion percentage.
Yep.
He's accurate. Every time I've turned them on this season, he is hitting a pass like over the middle, perfect placement every time.
He looks really good, and their offensive line isn't great either. So he is having to move around in the pocket a whole lot in order to get some of these throws off. Some advanced stats, they're 51st in the country in opponent adjusted EPA per play, and they are 56th in the country in net adjusted success rate by opponent. They're 81st in the country in net yards per play. Do you want to know where Virginia Tech is, or do you not?
I'm guessing it's like 115.
115 adjusted EPA per play, number 67 in net
Oh,
adjusted
nice.
success rate,
That's a
number
great
123 in net yards per play. So this is an offensively, 51 in adjusted EPA per play is a good, not great offense for the P4 level. I think when you watch them play, you see the potential, and then you also see sometimes where their offensive line looks like saloon doors.
Yep.
And it just blows right by them.
That's what's holding them back.
Yeah. Their line of scrimmage is not great.
Because they're 40th, and this aligns with a lot of the things you said. 42 in yards per play, 43rd in offensive SP+. Like, good, not great.
Mm-hmm.
But against our defense and some of the things we've allowed, CJ Bailey, I'm guessing there's something good that happened in the guards game.
Jose Ramirez, 2 RBI double.
There you go. Little pump fist from Sam. But Hollywood Smothers poses a huge threat because even with that bad offensive line, he is the 6th leading rusher in the country at 126 yards a game, 80 attempts for 503 on the season, 6.3 yards a carry, 4 touchdowns, and 15 receptions as well. So he's doing a little bit of everything. And where would they be without him? I really feel like he is making a huge difference for them.
He is the reason that they are 3-1 right now. I mean, he's probably the best back Virginia Tech's played so far this season. He might be the best back Tech plays all season. He's really good.
He's very good. Him and Claiborne. I mean, it's funny because we're going up against both of them in the next 2 weeks. But Claiborne for Wake is really good.
Very good. Yep.
And then Terrell Anderson has come in and grabbed that wide receiver 1 spot for them. I mean, I think he had 15 receptions last year as a freshman. He's already got that number. He's exceeded his totals from last year. He had 6 receptions for 166 against Duke, 273 on the season. Grimes is at 19 yards per catch. Noah Rogers, Keelan Jackson are back. There is some young talent, like a bunch of these sophomores that are just like, have so much promise, and CJ Bailey's the same thing. Like, if they could keep this offense together, they probably won't. But like, if they did, it could be nasty in a year or two if the O line could get better. But right now, that offensive line, which is 132 in tackles for loss allowed per game, there's only 136 teams, so they are giving up 8 tackles for loss per game. That is music to my ears. And we can't forget to mention Jolly. It's not Jolly. I think it's Jolie. Actually.
It's Jolie. He's a good tight end. I don't think there's no one on this NC State offense. I mean, Smothers is the running back. So you always kind of key in on the running back, but there's no one on this offense that is like a matchup nightmare that like terrifies you, that you have to game plan around. They just have a lot of like above average good players. And those are sometimes harder to deal with in the team that has 1 or 2 really good players. And
he's a big part of the offense.
Like, he's a big part of the offense. Smothers is. Bailey's distributing really well. All of their wide receivers are competent. And I mean that in like a positive way, because most college football teams don't have like 4 or 5 guys that are competent wide receivers. And we've seen that in Virginia Tech many years. Like, this is a good offense. If Virginia Tech's defense doesn't come to play, NC State can score 40 plus.
I mean, the big tight end catching passes. I see it in my sleep, Sam, against Virginia Tech. And he will get 4 catches, 80 yards in this game at minimum. Like, that is going to happen. He's gotten 4 catches in every game so far this year. And so it's probably going to happen against us. And you just got to try to limit it as best you can.
Yeah, especially if you play any sort of 4-2-5, where you have a chance where you have like, you either have to drag one of your linebackers out on him, you have to bring a safety down, your nickels on, like, it can be weird if you're playing a 4-2-5 base defense.
On their defense, they're 115th in yards per play. They're 84th in the SP plus. The SP plus, I don't think has necessarily even caught up. Now, they played some decent offenses. It's not to say like UVA's offense looks legit.
Duke's offense looks good,
but Wake was scoring on them, and like they scored 10 on Kennesaw. Like this defense could be pretty bad. Like, they're 84th in the SP plus. You know how bad our defense has been, Sam. We're 89th. So like, we're neck and neck with their defense, which I want to see. They're 99th in opposing passer rating. They're 83rd in yards per carry against. Like, we should be able to run. And
Mhm.
Kyron, if he has some time to throw, which it's not a very good D line, he can hit some passes in this game.
90th in pass success rate defense. Like if you this is not a good this defense is just flat out not good.
Mm-mm.
This is
They've
an
been
opportunity
terrible.
to score
Yeah.
points. And you want to know my like key to the game, my X factor in this game for the Hokies.
I do want
You
to
ready
know.
for this? NC State's defense is number 114 in the country in yards after catch allowed.
That's PJ Prelude's music.
That's a callback, as you call it in the industry. Their starting linebacker and genuinely one of their best defensive players, Sean Brown, has given up the most yards after catch of any defender in the country.
That's crazy. He's their leading tackler. Like he was their leading tackler last year, and him and Fordham are 1 and 2 in tackles again this year.
He is a very good run defender.
Okay.
You got to put him out in space, man. You have got to put him out in space. I think Virginia Tech, he's given up 171 yards after the catch
In 4 games.
as a linebacker.
Yeah.
So I think if you're Virginia Tech, this is a prime opportunity to snap 1-2, bang, get out to Selden. 1-2, bang, Prelude. 1-2, bang, Aiden Green. Because those are guys who
Get
their
it in
best
people's
skill.
hands. Yes.
Their best skill is after the catch. Aiden Green's best skill is probably after the catch.
And we know Kyron's not like accurate past about 15 yards anyway. So
You just got to get it out of his hands, man.
Get
and
it
let
into
him
a
go.
playmaker's hands. Yes.
Because their
absolutely.
DBs are not good either. Their DBs do not make college corners tackle. They cannot tackle. They don't want to tackle. Duke was just running by them because guys didn't want to tackle.
And in all honesty, I think where we may have more opt-out problems, if we're worried about, because to me, if we want to move to like final keys to the game, I'll say this: they're 102nd on SP Plus special teams.
Well, we heard that about South Carolina too,
I know,
and then here we go.
But anyway, I just wanted to mention it. Keys to the game, we've gone over a couple, but the main issue is the headspace of our team and who we're going to have out there. Offensively, I think we're going to be as close to full strength as we're going to be. Like, I mean, it'd be great to have Garrett back, but if we don't have Garrett back, Cunningham was back. And so you've got 4 of your 5 starting alignment back. You're going to have 4 or 5 running backs to use. You're going to have Kyron, Benji. Make something happen out there, man.
Yeah, this is your opportunity to really say, like, what can we do as an offense? Like, what does it look like? We're at week 5. We've had Kyron healthy the whole season. We're getting some guys in the offensive line back. Receiving core is healthy. Maybe Terrian Stewart, who we've heard positive things, is like maybe back. This is your chance. Of all of the games left, like big games left for Virginia Tech, this feels like the most winnable against a bowl team.
It does. I wish it was in Lane, but whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
you gotta.
The fact that it's
got to
away
show up today.
and it's at night, like that
It's
sucks.
scary.
Like it would have been better if this was a nooner because we already know the
Carter Finley's tough.
the fucking mountain that we have to climb in order to even win a big time game. So
win a
it
game.
sucks. So it sucks that it's at night. It sucks that it's in Carter Finley because before the season, this was a game both me and you thought we could definitely win. Like we were feeling okay.
It was the toss-up we felt best about. Yeah.
Based on who Tech had on the roster and projection for how they would perform under non-idiot coaches, we thought, and so Monty seems like he's a non-idiot. So maybe like if they've got a good amount of their roster and they have some confidence from last week, we can go down there and make it a game. And would it not be
It'd be
like
very NC State to lose this game.
poetic for us to win a 1-score game on Saturday night?
I think, here's my thing. You think you have to get yourself in position to be in position. And that's my fear with this Virginia Tech team that I've seen this year is The second, look, CJ Bailey's going to hit somebody over the middle,
Oh,
and
I
it's
know.
going to be like
I know.
60-yard touchdown, and that place is going to be rocking, and they're going to be howling at you, and Tuffy's going to be prancing around on the sideline looking all cute, and it's going to be loud. The lights are going to be flickering. And I tell you what, like, I don't trust this team to not just tuck tail and quit, because that's what we've seen all year.
Yeah, we've seen it.
So
and
prove me wrong.
they could shred us. Like, they could shred our defense
Yeah.
all night long. Like, Bailey and Smothers and Jolly and like Jolie are all so good. But they lost to UVA, or they could have lost to UVA at home. UVA had 257 yards rushing on them.
That is like,
I know
I
UVA
hope Virginia
a little bit better than we're used to, but like, come on, man.
If Tech can do so, Tech has done a really good job this year, actually, like avoiding 3-and-outs. They have like every drive they have tried to do something. Unfortunately, their 3-and-outs have been really ill-timed, like the first 2 drives of the Vanderbilt game. If you can give yourself an opportunity here, if you can give yourself like, 4 or 5 plays of possession at minimum, you're going to get explosive plays versus this defense because they can't tackle and because their run fits aren't very good. Virginia Tech hasn't had those explosive plays yet this year. We don't know what this offense looks like with those. If you can get those, this offense looks totally different.
The best, and this is going to sound dumb, but like, obviously getting off to a lead is important for any team in any road environment. But if you were able to get out to a 7-0 or a 10-0 lead in this game, like, that effect on our guys would be exponential. Like, it would help so much. And Monty selling the fight in this one is huge. Like, he has to, I was talking to you guys, if like, say we won, 5 or 6 games, got to a bowl, that like Monty would be ACC Coach of the Year, because this is a tough spot.
Yeah.
He is going to have to work a miracle for us to win more than a couple ACC games. I don't think we're going to lose every game from here on out. I think we'll steal one here or there, but like, not many people feel like we're going to win more than 1 or 2 ACC games. So he has to do a really good coaching job in this one.
There is zero pressure on Virginia Tech coming into this game. Absolutely zero. There's a whole lot on NC State, because you just lost to a triangle team that you weren't supposed to. Now you come back and play Virginia Tech. Their schedule is not easy after this. If they lose this game, they're staring 8-4 is like a best case scenario.
And they are 10-point favorites for a reason. It's 10.5.
Is it still 10.5? I thought it moved down.
I looked.
Did it move the other way?
This was this afternoon. So,
okay, so it went 7.5 to 10.5. Got it. Yep.
10.5. That's a lot, but it's to be expected. Like, I wouldn't
think
really
it's a fair price,
expect it to be any different. Mm-hmm. And I'm not telling you to run to the window and bet Virginia Tech, because like, I don't know who's going to be out there. I don't know if their head's going to be in the game. I assume that it will be, because Monty's been around the block a few times and he's calling the plays. He's pretty good at figuring out the temperature of a football team. And so I hope we can keep it close, and I hope beyond hope that we can pull an upset, because I don't think talent wise, the teams are very different. I really don't. It's just, we've played like dog shit, and we fired our coach, and that takes a toll on a team.
It's about time Virginia Tech ruined someone else's season.
And dude, this would ruin it. I mean,
this would be, I said in the spring, this is a loser goes home game for the head coaches. Our loser already went home.
Mm-hmm. So
all the pressure's on Dave Doran. I think that is something really key in this game. Now, if I'm predicting this game, I'm not predicting Virginia Tech to win.
You would think the scenario of us folding up like a lawn chair is more likely than us winning.
Yes. However, I see the offensive strategy that Virginia Tech could utilize to score points and to get explosive plays that they haven't had this year. And if the defense plays like they did against South Carolina, I don't think NC State's going to score 35, 40 points. But you're
going to have to.
You need to play well.
You got to score 31 to win the game.
I think so. I think your magic number for Virginia Tech is probably like 34, 35.
Yeah. If you get to 35, you probably win.
Mhm. What's the over under for this game? I can't-
56.5, I think.
Yeah, so you're looking at
56.5.
Yeah, so they're projecting 30, 35, 20. Yeah.
Let's move to picks. A lot of good games this weekend. These are picks from the Pick'em. GT at Wake Forest. Wake is 16.5-point underdogs. This is actually a harder pick than I
think so too.
What I think. I'm going to go Georgia Tech, but I would not play this game with a bet.
I wouldn't either. I'll go Georgia Tech, but I would not play this with a bet. Georgia Tech does seem a little bit like a play with their food team this year. And they do play, under Brent Key, they have played to their competition.
And you said the thing about the load management for Hayden's King. Like, I don't think this is a load management game, but like, it's not a load management game. So like, how do they decide to use him in this one? So yeah, I'll take GT, but I don't feel great about it. Ohio State at Washington. Really fun matchup. Washington has a crazy winning streak going on at home right now.
22?
It's the longest in the country, I think.
Second longest behind Georgia.
Second longest. Okay. Washington plus 10.5.
Bet has already been placed.
I'm on the Huskies.
It's Purple Rain Day.
Oh, really?
Are you kidding me? You think you're going to walk into Husky Stadium in Seattle on Purple Rain Day and come out with a
Is
W?
that like Red Bandana Day for BC?
No, it's not that serious. I think they just get drunk on their yachts and then they all wear purple. And it's like Purple Rain, like the Prince song. They play the Prince song.
I've heard
it's
of it.
Rain, like REIGN.
Dude, when I was a kid,
pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, when I was a kid, my soccer team was the Vikings, and I liked Randall Cunningham from the Eagles, and then he went to the Vikings, and they were awesome. They had Randy Moss, they had Chris Carter, they had Andre Reed, I think, not Andre Reed, Jake Reed, and I had a poster in my room, and it said "Purple Rain," REIGN, and you just gave me some nostalgia, man. I loved those Vikings teams. Anyway, Auburn at A&M. A&M 7.5-point favorites at home in Kyle Field. Back-to-back roadies here for Auburn.
It's a tough spot for Auburn, but it is also a classic Texas A&M letdown spot. I'm going to go with the Aggies because I think Auburn that's a really tough ask is after that game against Oklahoma. I think all of the talk of the referees might actually hurt Auburn right now.
Yeah.
Because I think they might be lingering on that game a little bit, and Texas A&M has had some time to prep for that offense.
They've had some time. I'm going to take A&M. Again, not something I would bet, but like if you're gun to my head, I'm taking A&M. Indiana at Iowa. Iowa 7.5-point dogs at home.
7.5-point dogs,
and this is coming off a huge win
in Iowa City.
Gronowski sucks so much.
He doesn't suck that bad.
Well, okay, fine. Up until the last 2 quarters of the Rutgers game, dude, man, wasn't doing.
I'm not betting against Indiana, but I can see it happening. I know that's kind of
I can see Iowa covering for sure because it's Iowa. And
I can see Iowa winning this game. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? A 26-23 Iowa win on a last-second field goal.
Because it would be so college football to win 63-10 and then lose to Iowa.
Yeah.
Give me Iowa. I'm taking the points. Stupid bet. Utah at West Virginia. West Virginia plus 12.5 at home. Utah coming off the emotional loss, traveling across country.
West Virginia's dead. They should have lost by 2 touchdowns to Pitt.
Oh,
give me Utah big here. West Virginia's dead.
Hey, do you know anything about the history of this series? Like what they normally margins are? I'm just curious. I don't.
Virginia and Utah.
Yeah, haven't they played the last 2 years? I guess it's only been 1 year.
I have no idea.
It's just so weird. Like you're right.
So stupid.
This I know. Like this is. Give me Utah. Fuck it. All right. Yeah. Tennessee at Mississippi State. This is a fun game. Mississippi State, 10.5-point underdogs. You know I like Tennessee. They're one of my playoff teams. 10.5 with cowbell.
Too many points with the cowbell.
Yeah, I'll take the home dog.
Got it.
And then Oregon at Penn State, game of the weekend. I don't know. There's a lot of games of the weekend. Bama, Georgia's not even in our pick'em, but Oregon is 3.5-point dogs going to Penn State.
We know nothing about either of these teams, really.
I'm
They've
going
played-
with Oregon.
I'm going with the points.
Yeah, give me the points because Oregon could win this game. And if they could win the game, take the points.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, you could say that about any game, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like Penn State has been dragging ass. I don't know if
They've
you've
played nobody.
Have you watched much of their stuff?
I saw a little bit of their game against FIU, and it's like they're not even trying.
Dude, they're not doing anything.
And they had a bye week last week.
And what
They
was the
haven't
other
done
game?
anything.
There was one Villanova. They played Villanova. They played who was the one? They were like it was like 7-0 for like a long time.
I think it was for FIU.
It might have been FIU. It was. And I was just like, what is going on out here? They were asleep. And they did that against Bowling Green last year. They're not going to be asleep for Oregon. We know that. But they've also not been tested.
Like, Oregon has at least played Oklahoma State's terrible, but at least they played.
They played Oklahoma
athletes.
State and they played Northwestern on the road and they
Oregon
played
State, who's their
a
rival.
rival.
Like, at least they've played athletes. Like, that's
They-
my thing with
they
Penn State.
played
I'm scared they
three
haven't.
FBS or P4 teams.
Yeah, they haven't seen speed this year. That's my worry. On the flip side of that, Dante Moore's first true road environment is Penn State whiteout.
Tough.
Let's see how much dog you got in you, Dante Moore.
And Penn State has the revenge factor because they lost the Big Ten title game last year.
I can't wait to watch this game. I'm
to
so
Oregon.
excited. I'm
Oh,
not
dude,
betting.
How
I'm not
great
betting
was
this
this
game just
last
so I
year?
can just watch it. Incredible.
Dude, that was such a good. I mean, I know Penn State was down most of the game, but like those running backs were making plays. Aller was making plays. Like that was a really fun Big Ten.
That was one of my favorite games I watched all year.
Oh, it was. Penn State kept fighting back. So I'm going to take the points. I don't know what's going to happen. You're right. Don't bet the game. Just freaking
watch.
enjoy it. Yeah, enjoy the game. All right, man. That's going to do it for the show.
We're not doing Bama, Georgia?
It's not on the pick 'em, but we can pick it if you want.
Give me Bama outright.
What's the line?
3.5. I'm taking the point. I've placed my bet to take the points. I think I got it like 4.5. If you're interested in a money line sprinkle, this is the one for me. Big game.
What is it? Is it in Tuscaloosa?
It's in Athens.
And you're still taking Bama.
Mm-hmm.
Dude,
Because I have a narrative. I have a multi-week narrative set up in my head already.
I think Georgia's really good.
Mhm.
I think they're really good. And Bama got their ass kicked week 1. I mean,
That's part of the narrative.
okay. And they've looked great since, but they've played nobody.
The hero's journey, Pete. The hero's journey.
The hero's journey. I think, is it 3.5 you said, or is it 2.5?
3.5. I think it opened at 4.5. I think it's down to 3.5 now. It might be 2.5 now.
I'm taking Georgia.
All right.
And I can change my mind, but right now, prompted, I'm taking Georgia. All right. That'll do it. Thank you guys for watching. If you made it to the end of the show, why don't you use word Dan in the comments? If you made it to the end on YouTube or on Spotify, put Dan in the comments for perhaps the first call from new AD Francois. What's her last name? I always get
Desiree Reed Francois.
Desiree Reed Francois, formerly of UNLV. But yes, this was a fun one, man. We've had some good times on the show this week already.
Yes. And thank you to everybody for actually sticking with us during all of this turmoil. It is quite surprising and shocking, but also I think it's a testament to Hokies fans out there that are just truly sick individuals
They
in all of
said-
the best ways.
Bill Roth or Burn Up, somebody said Tech Talk Live was standing room only last week.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we do. That's what Tech fans do. They show up, and you guys have shown up for the pod, so we appreciate it. Make sure you follow Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Sons of Saturday on YouTube. That's where you can find all of our episodes. And until next time, go Hokies.